they talking about blizzard weather, man. Whoa.
Well, you know how they sometimes they be like fall.
Yeah, well, they missed this one.
Right.
But no, but it has been windy now. It has blown, at least down there it was. It was kicking down there.
Oh, from where?
Snow Hill.
Oh, that's right. Till it's 2 o'clock. You know, I don't play no game. I'm always on the something. You gonna join us when you get done?
You setting up now?
Yeah. Yeah, you good.
What's your need? Dinner?
I had water. Huh? I said I had water, but you all. You got water, but ain't.
How long did you do this?
Uh, it all depends on the topic. You know what I'm saying? So actually, just most of the time I do it at home. But when I want to do something different, I just, invite some people, see who show up. Everybody doesn't show up.
Okay.
You know. But now when you know how things are when you get started on something.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear? Can you hear loud and clear? Yeah, yeah, we ready. Yeah, we ready. I can have people call in and they can call in and it'll go right through the phone and we can go right through there, but we'll wait. I do that some other time. So today, we're gonna get started. We're doing this live broadcast. Matter of fact, on Facebook over here, and I got my YouTube channel over there set up so y'all can be with us later on. On YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe and like and share over there. And just look under my name. If you know my name, if you don't know my name is Michael Butler, spelled MICHAELBUTLER, all capital letters. Because that's what we're doing. So today I got a special guest. Y'all can see him over there. His name is Mr. Edward Lee. Edward Lee does a lot of finances in the city. He's been doing real estate for quite some time. He also does credit. He knows a lot about finances, and that's one of the reasons why I invited him out today, because I think it's important that as people that we learn how important credit, finances are, and how to create a strategy plan that would fit the profile of what you're trying to do and how you're trying to get it done. So I'm not an expert in that area, but I'm trying to learn to be more financially able and ready to do better things, because in business, there's a difference between business credit and personal credit. And I think that in order to live a better life, that we need to know these things, not only from past experience, but to create a better form of income. Because multiple streams of income are very important these days, because one income doesn't work anymore as it did in the past. Because I know growing up, your dad could go to work, mom stay home, raise the kids, and that was it, but today that doesn't work like it used to. I don't even think a lot of people today are even sitting down and having dinner at the dinner table. That's how far away that things are. So that means to me that families are not communicating like they should. Because now, kids are fix a plate, go in the bedroom, sit down, get in the game, and that's what they do. So the parents are out working a lot, because you got to work a lot of hours today. As y'all know, today's gas prices are like high, and so they're blaming a lot of things. But I'm going to introduce my guest again, Mr. Edward Lee, and I'm going to let him speak on some things that he knows and understands, give you a better perspective than I can. So I'm just going to learn, take me some notes while he give up the jewel.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much, Brother Butler. It's great. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure for you coming.
Just nice. I really appreciate you. I've watched you over the years, and you are one of the few brothers around that speaks truth. And I think what people admire about you, what I admire about you,
Right.
in terms of your integrity, sense of integrity, loyalty, who you are, and what you're about.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It's commendable. It was interesting as you were doing the introduction of the show. You talked about family.
Yeah.
And then you talked about young people, values, those values that we've lost. And that intricately intertwines with where we are today as a people. Nobody will deny that.
Right.
And when we talk about issues such as financial literacy, you made a comment. You said, introduction again, you said, I don't even know if people eat at the table anymore.
Right.
And that's what we've lost, man. We as a people have lost our connectedness, a sense of value. And I don't say we've lost it, but we still maintain the practice, the family practice, the family values and things that were of value to us. Time, money, space, competition has created such a chaos for not just our families, for everybody. Family life, unless you're fortunate enough to be in a family that the family does have the resources and the wherewithal to maintain the calm, and everybody's scrambling. Everybody's trying to get money for that $4.25 a gallon gas.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't, this whole issue that we've been talking about, financial literacy, let me just back into it so folks know where I am first of all,
Go ahead.
and then take it from there. I'm a real estate agent, first of all, folks. Know that, I've been in real estate now a little over 13 years. I'm with ERA Real Estate Agency here in Salisbury. And when I first got into real estate some time ago, like I said, a little over 13 years ago, I realized from the very, very start a disparity. I saw that people of color were not buying homes. Now, in the 70s, there was something called redlining, well, there's a new form of redlining right now.
Tell me about it.
It's called credit score.
Right.
Okay, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's a new form of redline. It's called a credit score.
Absolutely.
If you don't have the right credit score, you can't get past first base without getting a home from Jump Street. So when I realized that was taking place, and I saw that, we developed a project called Teach Them to Fish.
Okay.
Teach them to fish, financial literacy, home ownership. And I'm thankful and grateful to all of the businesses and those who have supported over the past and continue to support it. We do a free seminar twice a year.
Okay. Free.
Free. Yeah.
You don't have to pay later. It's free now.
Yeah.
Right.
Free seminar twice a year. And what we do, we bring people together and give them an overview of the program. But that is not the program, the seminar. The program is that we have 8 classes that follow the seminar. And we teach from Freddie Mac's has a book that they put out. It's called Credit Smart. Anybody can get it. It's free. I don't know if they offer it anymore, but they used to get it free also.
Okay.
To help people to read and understand what it takes to purchase a home. But in addition to that, outside of the book, we use 2 other books. And one I'm going to mention here. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
Where
did you get that book?
That book is the book that takes us back to the value system that you started the program with, family.
Right.
Okay? It takes us back to that book, to that place, but it goes beyond that. The book, in lay terms, Babylon at one point, Mike, as you know, was the richest country in the world. And the reason that the country had that designation, they taught wealth to the people.
Okay.
To everybody.
Right.
Okay. So you were an outsider if you were haven't accepted or did not accept the teachings of the elders for everyone. Okay. So we use those 2 books that basically take us through this Teach Them to Fish. What is financial literacy? What is Teach Them to Fish? And what is it that we do that is apart from what a lot of people do in terms of teaching? Practical. We do practical types of teaching so that people understand. We find individuals where they are.
Okay.
financial literacy and home ownership. Home ownership. It's more than just I want to purchase a home. It's an attitude. Financial literacy. To when you look at people who have credit scores and say, I want to get my credit score where I can purchase a home. Mr. Lee, what do I need? What kind of credit score do I need? Well, that varies. Every deal is different. But if you come to me and you got a 500 credit score, you're going to start at not the bottom. We're going to start where you are. First of all, determine what it is, your why. Why do you want to purchase a home? Why do you want to raise your credit score? It's the understanding of the individual, getting to know the individual, what drives them, what motivates them. Because if you don't have a motivation, and if you aren't driven, when you begin to look at creating wealth,
Right.
and if you're not, man, that's a mountain to climb.
It is.
And it's more than a notion. So the first thing that I want to do is find out what motivates and what drives the person. Because I believe very clearly that if your why is strong enough to make you cry, you can accomplish anything that you wanted within the realm of possibility. Okay? So I'm going to say it again. If your why is strong enough to make you cry, then you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish within the realm of possibility. That's a life's mindset for me, for us. So what is it that's driving you? So once we find out what is driving the person, and we start from the very basics. We create a business plan, we create a spending plan, we look in terms of how their individuals are spending money now, what the savings plan for them, the emergency plan for them, all of this intricacies, all of these nuances go into reestablishing credit and credit worthiness. That's where we're trying to get to the point of person comes, they want to get their credit score to a level. Why do they want to get it to a level? They want to go to a lender. A lender is going to lend them money based on what? Credit worthiness. Credit worthiness.
Meaning your ability to pay back what you get.
That's right. That's right. And not only, and what they do is when they look at that score that's there, and those scores are made up in different ways. They have a whole three major companies, Equifax and Experian, and yeah. They have a set of standards, that they have. Each company has, and they come up with what their score, how they rate you credit-wise. What is it based upon? It's based upon a promissory notes that you have signed. You promise to repay. You borrow money. It's a promissory note. You promise to pay it. And here's the thing that messes up so many people, brother.
Go ahead.
That when you sign a credit card, when you get a credit card, when you make a loan, that's called a promissory note. You promise to pay the lender that money on X day of X month, X week of every. You didn't promise to pay them the day after or a week later. That money is due when it is due on that date. That's what you are measured by. If you are late, if you don't pay, you are in default. And that's the cumulative bad news that happens to so many people.
Okay. Now, is it there also a 2 or 3 day window? I know some card papers may give you a 10-day before it's late, considered late. But for credit purposes, anything after 30 days go on your credit report and it drops your score. I mentioned you were saying something about credit cards. What I've learned about credit cards that we discussed the other day is that if you get a credit card and they give you a $1,000 limit, and you just go out and just start spending not knowing the value of the credit card, then you'll spend below the limit that is allowed, but they're not gonna tell you that there's a 33%. So if you get $1,000, you only got $333. Actually, before your score drops. So a lot of people don't understand that particular point of a credit card. So now that once you start spending and you don't pay it all of it back, or you may pay some of it, but they'll give you a low monthly payment, maybe $10, maybe $15. So, but that's how you get tracked. So if you pay back your balance, what you spend before the due date, then your score stays up. And I think that's very important because I had to learn that myself, and I had to learn those numbers. Even if a lot of people get a credit card and say $300, you know what I mean? So they're only really giving you, because some of them even got a fee for $89 before you start spending. So now you're already below the limit. So now you got $200 and some odd dollars. So now if you go and spend $50, your score automatically drops, but you're not even paying attention to that because, I got a credit card. So those are the important things that you need to look at that we should educate each other on, and even our children, about the purpose of what credit does and how credit can benefit you in the long run and in the short term run. You know what I'm saying? So those are just some of the tricks that when you apply for these things that they're not going to tell you that you have to learn. Some people learn through trial and error, like myself. There's some people are taught early, so they know that. You know what I mean?
Credit cards are tricky. Let me see if I can do it a different way.
Okay, because you should compound interest every day. But go ahead.
It's called the 30% rule.
My man.
Okay? It's called the 30% rule. And these are one of the algorithms that they use in terms of overall, when credit scoring. What we teach is that if you get a loan, you get a credit card, and they give you, say, $500 credit on that credit card. So if you've got $500 on that credit card, 30% of 500 is what? 2,515, right?
Right.
Okay.
$1.50.
Yeah, okay. So,
$1.50.
so what you want to keep the magic number is 150. You don't want to spend off of that credit card no more than 150 carrying forward.
Right.
Now, if you spend $400, for example, on that credit card, let's keep it simple. So,
Okay.
so let's say you spend $250. So if you spend $250 at the end of the month, your date when they calculate your score, if on your date of calculation you have spent $250, what you want to do is pay $100 to bring it down to that 150 going forward.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I share with folks. You can spend beyond that 30%, but pay it off before, and always pay more than the amount. If it's only $5, then you do. So that's how you build the credit, recognizing that 30% rule. If you are looking to increase it, your strategy is to increase your credit score, for example. You want to raise it. One of the ways that you can do it is getting 2 credit cards, or even maybe 3. But we always say no more than 2.
Right.
And use those credit cards judiciously and prudently, because every month in their accounting, when you're at that 30% or less level, that stabilizes and moves your credit score. So if you have 2 credit cards and you're maintaining the 30% rule on one, the 20% rule on another, let's say you got 3, and you're maintaining the 10% rule on the third one. So I'm saying that the rules are 30%, 20%, 30%. It's the best credit rating that you will get, and businesses normally take advantage of this, that they only use 10% of the credit, and they have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they only use 10%. Another level, may only use 20%. They get a better rate at the end of the month. 30% of the average ones, they get. So what you want to do with your credit cards, no matter what, is to have it consciously use them to build your credit. That's one of the quickest ways to help you realize how you can elevate your credit score. And then, like I said, we use 2 credit cards normally to help them do that. But what happens, and unfortunately, because of where we are in this country, these credit cards, this plastic came available, and people thought that it was free money, and that they didn't have. Some people thought they didn't even have to pay it back. I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
that's how they used it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so
Have with a good credit score.
yeah. That's that. The other way, there are other ways that when we look at people who want to have credit challenges, we look at their current debt and where their indebtedness.
Credit to debt ratio.
Yeah. So we need to understand that if we owe, basically, if you owe someone money, particularly our young people don't get this a lot of times that I talk to. You have an obligation to repay them. That's where you got to start from. There's no free lunch, okay?
Okay.
There's no free lunch.
Right. There's no below the ground.
So that's the number two piece. So credit, right? Credit is an issue. As I said, it goes back to one of the texts that we use, the richest man in Babylon. They talk about lending and borrowing. They talk about compound interest in there. And all of this was talked about way before, like I said, back in the time of Babylon. It was a whole consciousness about money and how money works in a community for a community. That's the thing that we as a community are struggling to learn now. We're trying to get into businesses and make some things happen without understanding the principles involved. We're trying to look in terms of looking at credit scoring, looking at borrowing and lending without understanding the principles of it. So what we attempt to do is to find out where people are and to help them. We don't have all the answers, but guess what? I firmly believe that in the American dream, I believe that wealth is accumulative. I believe that home ownership, if you own a piece of land, you own a commodity that they aren't making anything. And that's why I say to people that you look in terms of home ownership. I don't care if it's for investment purposes, I don't care if it's for living purposes, or whatever purposes. That's one of the soundest pieces that you go. Doesn't stop you from looking at other things. But real estate, home ownership, that's where I believe we have a great opportunity that we've lost. And, we've got to try to reclaim as much of it as we can.
Because I know some of the wealthiest people in America and across the globe deal in real estate. Reason being because real estate is so high and bought low. Then if you can get the right people to move into those buildings, now you take care of your lifestyle. So being taught that at an early age, financial literacy is a very intimate thing, and it's very great, and it has a lot of value because one of the things that I try to tell a lot of young people, because I run across them all the time in the barbershop, is that get yourself in a position at an earlier age. That way when you get in your 30s and 40s, you don't have to work as hard. You know what I mean? You can put all that bullshit aside, go out there on the streets doing the things that you think is going to make you some money, which is not going to make you the money. It's going to cost you a lot of penalties that are in place in our communities that sometimes if you think that a brother out there slinging, that he's cool, you know what I'm saying? I have no problem with what a person does, but it's a lot of consequences that you have to pay that you really don't got to pay if you don't do it. All you gotta do is take that knowledge and those things that you're doing and hustle somewhere else and build in the process. That's a thing that we have to get back to. But everybody want to live, they want to live fast and they want to live good, they want to do all the great things in life, but some things it takes time, and as long as you got time to get it done. You know, that's one of the things that I try to implement within myself every day. You know what I mean? So when I get up and go to work, when I come here, I don't come here for me anymore. I come here for my children because I know that I want them to have a better way than I was given and more opportunities to live a better life. You know, 'cause we got a lot of young kids. You know what I'm saying? And we got to they look up to us, whether we know it or not. So why not teach them something great besides something that's, you know what I'm saying? That way, in the long run, when they get to that mind frame, they will see all the work that has to be done that's gonna make you a greater person. You know what I'm saying? But that way, because we all want to leave this place one day. So why not leave this place the right way? When you leave, you left something, and you didn't leave nothing. You know what I mean? So, what is your life worth today? You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I always tell myself. What is my life really worth? Is it really worth me doing something good and sticking to the plan and go through the ups and downs and all the changes and the turnaround that's gonna happen? That way, when you get to that spot, you'll see the work that pays off for you. It takes time. It takes time. That's why I like talking to people about different things, about things that I don't know. Even when it comes down to trying to learn how to flip houses, how to repair my credit into a better perspective, business-wise, to get business credit. You know what I mean? Because I think that's as you look around how the world is going nowadays, you see all the businesses, the globals and the moguls, they are getting money off of us. They are on vacation buying yachts because we are making them get to the yachts, especially in the black community. All our money doesn't stay in our community. I mean, we got barbershops, we got hair salons, but where's the businesses? Where's the big money business like the stores, those things? You know what I'm saying? We'll spend $200 or $300 on a pair of sneakers and go pay one of these apartments $1,400 a month for rent. Just to say that you living good. No, that's not. That's a wrong perception in my perspective because you could be using that money to improve your credit, buy your house, talk to people who's in that position to help you get that information. Sometimes it costs you may have to come outside of your comfort zone to get the people, but you got to be consistent on how you do what you do. Because I do it every day. I'm not done yet. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's more to life that has to offer, and I gotta find it. You know what I mean? So I try to find people like Mr. Lee, who I've been running across. He come to my barbershop. He been coming here for years putting pamphlets. You know, so I don't need people even look at him. You know, but I'm gonna make sure that from this day forward that they get that information because the information is on there. If you need to know anything, this man is good to help you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I think that we need in our community today. Because I know when I was growing up, we had a lot of black stores in the community. You don't see black stores anymore. You see all other stores in our community. You see Chinese people, you see the people from all the way from. You know, but we don't go in our stores and pass our money to black people anymore. But we take our money and pass it to the white people or the other person. So they don't get back to our community. You understand what I'm saying?
You know, what is interesting, something you just said, you said you gave up your children, the question is what did your children leave for your children?
Right.
You know, and that takes me back to Proverbs 13:21. It says a good man leaves an inheritance for his great grandchildren. And what it talks about the wisdom, and then that's why I see the wisdom in so many of these writings, particularly the Bible and books like Richest Man in Babylon. Here is wisdom that you are speaking into that microphone to young people right now. What is it that you're going to leave for your great grandchildren? Or are you just going to pass away? You're going to come here? That's not what life is about. You know?
Like the understand.
And I believe very clearly that these kinds of conversations raise the question of what can we do. They raise the question of what can we do. Let me not shift gears. Stay right with financial literacy.
Okay.
And take it to where we can make a difference now. In our schools right now, the law requires that in Maryland anyway, that financial literacy be taught from K to 7. That's kindergarten to 7th grade. after the 7th grade here in this county, it becomes an elective. That means that the school is not required to teach financial literacy after the 7th grade. Well, if the most formative learning period of a child's life in school or from 7th to 12th grade, why do you think that is? Why would they stop it at that point? You see, I believe that one of the things that we've got to begin to have a conversation around financial literacy, touch points where it's going to make a difference. And in the school systems where they have the requirement to do it, we should require them to do it. They aren't doing it.
Correct. Because they don't want to. They don't want what the select few to know. Because if you didn't come from that environment, then you're not going to be good at talk. Because you're not going to pay attention. Because I look at school like this. They got a public school which everybody can go to, and they got a private school. Then they got academy. Then they got Christian school. You know, and you just look at what a public school doesn't offer you public education. But when you go to a private school, then you get, they say you get a better education. Now, if you can afford to send your kids to an academy, that's a whole different level. You know, because it's, you know, because the information in the books that are in those schools are not in the public school. You know, I thought about that last week when I was sick somewhere and I said public. I'm like, what is public mean? That means anybody can see it, right? Can go to so when we go to a public school, everybody can go to a public school, rich, poor, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the quality of education is not to be as low as the private school.
And that's contingent upon, again, community.
Right.
That's if we leave that system to quote unquote them. But the system in the private sector of the school system belongs to we the people.
Right.
And when we begin to look at reality is that we can't look to someone else and blame them if we aren't doing what we should be doing.
Right.
So it's just like signing the promissory note. If I sign the promissory note, I have the responsibility to repay that note. In the public sector of the school systems, or wherever it is, whether it's in the schools, whether it's in the healthcare, whether it's in the social services, we the people have surrendered to quote unquote them the authority, our authority that we have in those systems and give it to them. Okay, so it, you know, it's not convoluted. It's not hard. It's what has evolved. It's what has evolved. What, you know, when you see the struggles against the left and the right, the Republicans against the Democrats, when you see that kind of struggle, I think that I just applaud what you are doing. Applaud where you are, that you can speak to your people and our people so that we can come together around these issues as one in unity. Because failure around the school system to allow others who don't have the interest of the people of color on their place up front, on the line where they're supposed to be, we're going to end up consistently being lacking. Because in the public systems, while you say there are levels within the public school system, they have their private almost schools within the public systems called advanced placement. And if you're not in a position to understand that advanced placements exist and how to prepare your children to get there, then we're going to stay where we are. So it's not easy. I'm getting a little off track.
No,
there.
you're fine, because you said advanced placement was kind of like, okay, yeah, it is, they do have advanced placement in school, and a lot of kids have the knowledge and understanding to do it. But what I'm thinking is that the, whatever, is being taught really is not what the interest of the kid is. So a kid may not pay attention in science class because when they talk about the science may not hold his interest, but when he go to math class, he might be a genius. And then a lot of kids, what I'm getting, when I was in school, and there a lot of things that I should have paid attention to, I didn't. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know whether it was significant or not, but today it is. You know, so when I was telling my son he was in school, I said, no, those are the classes that you pay attention to, the ones that you don't have interest in. Because those are the ones that you're going to need when you get out of school. You don't see it yet, but I know, because I was in school too. You know what I'm saying? So we're not getting off subject, it's just becoming a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of having a podcast where you can discuss things that mean something to us. Because what people see you as might not be what you really are.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep it as close to where you asked me.
Right, okay,
About
right.
financial literacy, so
Right.
let me stay with that. And in financial literacy, I'm gonna tell you and to the listening audience that in the public school system, there is an issue, a subject matter that our community needs to pay particularly diligent attention to, and that is the whole issue of financial literacy. Right now, this year, right over here at Salisbury University, financial literacy is such an issue throughout the country and the world today. But right there at Salisbury University, they are now requiring freshman students who come into the school to take financial literacy their freshman year in college. Why? Because they're coming from systems, from majority public school systems that have not prepared them to intelligently go into economic classes and pursue economics and financial literacy at a college level. So they are requiring now that those students take their freshman year of financial literacy. I'm saying to parents, to your parents, and to our parents, and those who hear us, look at your school systems and determine what's taking place in there. Don't allow them to tell you, oh, we're doing this and paint this rosy picture, but yet and still, my experience and why I know it, the people who come to financial literacy come out of the public school systems.
Correct.
They are the ones that I see day after day, week after week, that cannot, and do not understand how the financial system works. You have students coming out of high school now, can't write a check. You have people who cannot handle their day-to-day financial needs coming out of this public school system that says they teach financial literacy. Well, then if they're teaching financial literacy, why do we have so many people today who are financial illiterate? That question needs to be asked.
Right, and then I think that a lot of times, people don't want to be embarrassed by asking certain questions because they feel that they're going to be looked down upon, but that doesn't matter because the things that you need to know, you need to ask. You know what I'm saying? Because even that way, you will seek it because if you don't ask, you're not going to seek it.
And that's the value that we put forth to teach them to fish.
Right.
We ask, we open the door and meet people where they are at the level, so that we don't embarrass them, that they aren't embarrassed.
Right.
It's common. But those same persons who are coming to us, we are encouraging them now to do the same, talk about the same subjects as you just talked about, your children. What position are you putting your children in now that are in school? You need to pay attention, parents, to what this subject of financial literacy, of what's taking place, and is your child being prepared to come out into the world tomorrow?
But because however they choose to come out, good or bad, they're still your child. And a lot of times, the system, the police officer will come and you may make a mistake and it's gonna cost you a whole lot. And then your parents be like, okay, I don't know what to do. That was something that's, well, I told my, no, but they're still your child. Whatever, they're still your child. You know what I mean? So you still have to support them, whatever correction, whatever they did wrong, because the system is not on our side. And whatever happened, a lot of times it doesn't be the way that it's seen or the way that it is written. You know what I mean? Because we become a party to what they're trying to do to us. Like I said, it just be changed, like I said about the housing market. They just did the red line, just put the credit score in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta remember that also. Because there's a lot of vows and tricks that are against us as people of color.
And the thing, Brother Mike, is that I encourage the discussion, but own the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
The responsibility is not for somebody else
Right.
to do this.
Right.
It is not the system, it is us. It is you as a parent, it's me as a human being, it's you as a father, and me as a grandfather. I want to leave, I'm going to leave.
That's right.
My life dedicated to my great grandchildren. I'm going to leave an educational endowment
Right.
for my great grandchildren that will go on in perpetuity, so that the resources will be there for them and their children and children to educate them in terms of whatever it is that they want to do, that they don't have to scramble for it. So to me, I think that that's one of the most important things that I look at my life of where I am today. Had I been in a position, family-wise, my family, to have me educated and get the kind of education I really needed because of dyslexia, and it wasn't there for me.
Right.
Okay, so I just believe that education is so important. But Brother Mike, we as a and I'm not going to say this younger generation. I'm not going to say the millennial generation.
Right.
I don't know where it is, but we as a community are scapegoated. We're putting responsibility on government. We're putting responsibility on someone else. We're putting it on the schools. It is our responsibility.
That's right.
It is our responsibility for our children. And the things that we want for our children and for our community, coming together, when we come together and leverage our numbers, I don't care if it's in the political arena, I don't care where it is, we are successful. But, I guess the thing that you and I kind of hit on the other day when we talked, is I don't see it. I don't see community. I don't see us, and I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes, but I don't see us.
It's just that everybody is so separate. Meaning that you gotta look a certain way, or you gotta have a certain thing, or you got to be liked. But like they say, the phrase that I like is that it's nothing personal, it's business. Because if you start taking a lot of things personal, you're gonna miss your business. You know what I mean? That's why you gotta put your business and don't take things personal. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of people
I agree.
'cause it's personal feelings. Get your personal out the way. It's business at the end of the day. Because we were born into business. When we were born into the United States of America, this is a business. You gotta sell something. I ain't talking about nothing illegal. I'm just saying you gotta sell something. Because something is being bought every day. All day long, somebody's buying something.
All right.
All money is being spent. Regardless of whether you want to spend it or not.
You say that, you say that?
Mm-hmm.
You look right here where we are. Look at all the houses that are being bought and sold.
Right.
Wouldn't you think that if people were buying houses, they would come to someone who looks like them, someone who has their interest at heart? Not just me, but there are other, there is no, I don't know, it's almost like the notion that when I was a child, I heard it, and it was abhorrent to me then. When I understood it, it's abhorrent to me now. That I don't want to do business with black folks because they don't treat you right.
Well, it's because I'm thinking that we've been so twisted that white folks got it out. That they'll do a better job, they're more efficient, and they're gonna give you the best deal. So when a person of color gets into, I say, a business, their transactions may not be as quite accurate, their work might not be as quite whatever, then you'll find that, but I know that through all processes, it takes time, then you have to learn, you have to make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, in order to be there, because you gotta do something to get there. You know, nobody starts there. Now, you may be given there, that's a whole different realm. You know, 'cause a lot of people who got money this past generational wealth around, they're given the opportunity to do those things. But when you don't have the opportunity, then you don't know how to sustain the opportunity, then that's where all the fluctuations come in. So now you just working, trying to, whatever you're doing it because you're in debt, you need the money to pay the bill. So now when you don't have that on you, you can do a better job because now you got people in position that you know can do adequate work that you don't have to check behind. So now that builds your business and your brand to get you to that place where you can hire people to do what they need to do, or you farm hire someone else, as in stores. You know what I'm saying? Walmart is my greatest competitor. I always compete against Walmart because Walmart is everywhere. So when I come up with my ideas, I said, well, Walmart is open 24/7. Started during the pandemic. Remember, Walmart has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in there that they're selling. You know, they got a tar company in the back. You know what I'm saying? They got a nail salon in there. They got a hair salon. They got clothes. They got shoes. They got everything that a person needs. So when you go to Walmart, you can go in there and get just basically everything you need. And then they add more. They got superstores. So I use that as a tool to keep pushing and to keep striving. I use that as one of my
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta use something.
Sure.
You know. So
Well, I hear you, and when you speak, the thing that resonated that you just said, I think it's accurate. As African Americans, we must build a positive brand. We have to build our brand in who we are. And when we have done that, sometimes, and I'm speaking now as an African American business person, sometimes it's still not good enough.
exactly.
So, you know, do you understand? You know, I have to go further. I have to not the extra
With them
mile.
in there.
Yeah,
With us in there.
Yes, to do the same thing,
Right.
to bring them back to the same table, to sign the same paperwork, to get that house that anybody else does.
Right.
There's nothing no different when you look at real estate. Now, quality of the person and experience of the person, yes, but you have to sign the same paper that person has to sign to get that house, and I can take you to that same process.
And I remember first meeting you, and we went out to Caldwell Bank, and we went in there, and then you ran the credit score, and when she said, "Well, this is what you had to do," I was like, "How do I get my credit up?" You know what I mean? At that time, I was ready, but I didn't really truly understand the process when it comes to buying a house, the thing that you gotta do to get that house. So I was like, man, this is something totally different. You know what I mean? So that my credit score is not good enough, I don't make enough money, so what do I do? You know, so that was the seed being planted. So years later, I never gave up on that mission, and just so happened, I was renting a house, and then I got approved. Credit score got whatever, because people would say that you can have a 598 credit score, blah, blah, this, don't do this, don't do that. So when I started not doing the thing that they told me not to do, then I just kept challenging the process. So when the process started happening, I know how I move, because when I want something, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? So I don't care. No, I hate to be told no. You know, especially when I know that I can get it. And just I gotta go through those channels, and I gotta put myself through the crucial moments and to get it. You know what I mean? So when I did, I went through a whole whatever, but just so happened that when I got approached, well, there's no need for me I was looking for a house that I got approved for some money. But when I started looking at those houses didn't have the land where I was staying. They didn't have the room. You know, because new houses don't have, you know what I mean? So I said, well, I just buy where I'm staying. You know, so that it was a process, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I got my house. You know what I mean? That's why today as I get up every day, you know, I look around, then I come to work, I was like, you know, I thank God, you know, because I didn't give up on something that I knew that I could do, you know, so that was like something major for me, regardless of all the doubt that made it set in, and when the times I wanted to say, no, the hell with it, it's too much, you know what I mean? But I know, but that was the process that, like you said, that when you see black people, you'll go to maybe a white person because you think they do an adequate job, or I'm getting paid the same amount regardless of what, you know what I mean? So I think that we have to sit back and see all the young people who are in real estate in our areas and check them out, give them opportunity. So there are more white realtors in our community than there is black realtors.
And you know, as a professional, I don't put down any realtor because of color.
No.
What I'm looking at in terms of building community.
Right.
And if we're going to build community,
Mhm.
if we have black professionals in our community,
Mhm.
I encourage, because there are other black realtors, I encourage,
Mhm.
seek them out.
Mhm.
Seek them out so that you can help them help build the community
Right.
around the issue that is vital, and that's ownership, that's business, that's land, that's business that's important to our community. The respect
Mhm.
that real estate agents get in this community, in our community, through our churches. I guess I'm the eternal optimist.
Mhm.
You see, because I believe that the energy and the strength is in our foundation and in our roots.
Mhm.
And it is there, and as long as when we continue to nurture that seed
Mhm.
that's planted in this earth,
Mhm.
in this mother earth called family, the
Right.
black experience.
Mhm.
As long as we continue to nurture that experience, we're going to survive. It's happened, it's been in the, but yes, it's waning. Yes, it needs fertilizing that seed.
Right.
It needs cultivating some more.
Oh,
Yes, yes, but it's there. And
It's there.
And that seed, Mother Earth seed in our community, is deserving. It's deserving for whoever. I don't care if it's you as a barber, if it's a dentist, if it's a doctor, if it's a car salesperson. We have the responsibility to nurture and support them in their growth.
That's right. Yep. So, we'd like to thank everybody, for listening, for tuning in. I hope you share it with somebody, because sharing is all we can do, a lot we can do. And I appreciate Mr. Lee, because out of all the people who said that they would come by today, didn't show up, I don't care, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna continue to do what's in my heart, which is a beautiful thing. So we're gonna, Mr. Lee, whenever he have time again, we can set up another topic, and we'll be back. But if y'all want to find Mr. Lee with some real estate advice on how to repair your credit, because I'm going to his office
Yeah,
Monday.
let me give you my, if people are interested in Teach Them to Fish, you can go to my website. It's tttfdelmarver.com. That's tttfdelmarver.com. And if you go there, just register for the seminar, and I will contact you. I always call every person back personally. If you are interested in the seminar if you're interested in home purchase now.
That's right.
If you want to purchase a home now, or let's say that you just want to need some counseling of how to get prepared, feel free to go to my website, tttfdelmarva.com. My cell phone is 443-783-1623. And again, that's 443-783-1623. Leave a message. I try to always get back to people when you talk about branding. That's one of the things that I pride. If you send me if you go to my website, you register for that seminar, I will call you back. You know that, I will.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, and while he was saying that, I just remembered that all great players had a coach. I don't care how talented they were. All great individuals have coaches. Coaches are important because you miss a lot of things that you think that you know that you don't know. And then they'll tell you how to get to the next level. So even if you want to repair your credit, you need a credit counseling coach. You need somebody who knows a little bit more than you do can help you in that area. So we'd like to thank all of y'all. Ooh, boy, the crowd is ready. Yeah, we'd like to thank all of y'all, man, for tuning in today. And shout out to Mr. Lee, man, for coming by, because he texted me. He said it's going to be snowing. You know what I mean? So I was like, I can't let the snow stop me from what I have to do today. You know what I mean? So, but then he texted me back. No, he emailed me back and said he could make it. So I thank you for coming. You know, because it's coming a blizzard. You know what I'm saying? It didn't stink, but you know, he made my day. You know, it's Saturday, March the 12th, 2022. This is the third month of the new year that we're in. I always try to keep it new. So when I remind myself that it's a new day, it's still a new year, I always try to seek new things, you know what I mean? New adventures in the mind. It may not look like that, but that's what I do. So thank y'all for tuning in. And I hope you hit the share button, share with your friends. And Mr. Lee left you his information, so if y'all want to contact him about credit repair, financial strategies, one of the guys who I recommend that you can go to, and he will help you. Sweet brother right here. And down to earth, very pleasant. I ain't never seen him. I even see him in the gym periodically, you know, and he's still him. You know, so thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and y'all have a good Saturday. I gotta go to the grocery store now and get me some of these groceries that's not on the shelf. But that's all right, I'm gonna find me some. So thank y'all, and y'all have a wonderful evening, and that's how it be. Thank you. And see, I do radio on Sunday.
You do?
Yeah, 97, and them jokers over there, man, they be like, people be like, I don't know, it's like they want to control. I don't know, the host don't have no problem with nobody but me. And we're not even getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody can do whatever, but when it comes to me, because I went to school for this, you know what I mean? And so, when I went to you know, then I replaced one of the guys who doesn't show up because he be doing other things, so I go in his spot. And so he called him the other day to the girl, Amber Green, who wanted to come on the show, but she had her own show. You know what I mean? She was doing 12 to 1. And so he was like, he was for, but the guy told him no. He said no. He said, B. Lou was already there, so no. He's a my replacement, you know what I mean? He said, I don't think he was very pleased with that. Yeah, so he said, but what is she gonna bring to the show? Which more talk. So that's why I was like, I'm not even worried about that, because I can talk about what I want to talk about on my podcast. Nobody's gonna say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so grateful that, you know, God spared me enough money to get some of the things that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me, because I know that in this business, you got to do this, and you got to have some great topics that people want to listen to. You know, man, like I said, I invite people to come today. I put it on Facebook, but I know how people are, so I don't even worry about those. But I say, God's gonna send who He chooses.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm with that.
Yeah.
You know, and then people are gonna come to your show when they see that you're doing something what they call spectacular, but it's always been spectacular from the beginning. You just didn't think that it was gonna go that far. So now once you get there, you can't get on there. It doesn't work like that because they gave you the opportunity at the beginning. So now that I'm getting there, now you want to.
Now they want to come. Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's great.
Yeah, because I got, like I said, this is my space, so I can use it to do, whatever. You know what I
Whatever
mean?
you want.
Right. As long as, because I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, so, so that's how I move. You know what I mean?
So you do Sunday? You do.
Yeah, from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna go tomorrow because the guy's gonna be there. I think I need to go see my mom because her birthday is on the 16th, but she'll be 97.
Wow. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Either I could do it tomorrow or do it Tuesday, but tomorrow I generally don't do it too much because I go to the gym. So I think I'm gonna see what the weather. I'm gonna ride back tomorrow and get
Where's
ready
mom?
in Baltimore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cause I think I just may do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take a Sunday off and go visit my mom, take her some flowers.
Yes.
You
Do
know,
it.
right,
Do it.
spend some
Do
time
it.
with her,
Yeah.
and then get back to the crib. You know what I mean? I think I'll do that tomorrow.
Sounds good. Hey man, my pleasure. Let's do it
Oh
again
man,
sometime.
oh man, look, I'm gonna let you know.
All right.
Let me take all this stuff back down. It don't take long. Just gotta take it home and set it back up. Then I got a studio in my house too.
Now, do you do your Sunday show from your home?
No, I do it as a radio station, but when I do my podcast, I do it from my house.
Okay.
So that way I can pick my own topic, talk about what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about it.